The media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. Malcolm X.
We're up against a big monster, and that's media.
We need a revolution every 200 years because all governments become stale and corrupt after 200 years. Ben Franklin.
Obviously, it's treason. I believe in our Constitution. I believe in what our forefathers created, and these people are treasonous.
When a government betrays the people by amassing too much power and becoming tyrannical, the people have no choice but to exercise the original rights of self-defense, to fight the government. Alexander Hamilton.
If you follow the money and you follow what's happening, our Congress is being bought by these people that their only concern is to make profit.
I mean, our presence here to maintain is important. We're out here sleeping in the rain. We're getting sick. This is a worldwide movement. People say, why aren't we in D.C.? We're not in D.C. because they can hear us from here.
During the fall of 2011 at a park located in New York City's Wall Street financial district, the Occupy Wall Street movement was born. Initiated by the Canadian activist group Adbusters, Occupy, with issues based around economic inequity, 24-hour protest with tents, and with its slogan, "We are the 99%," quickly spread across the North American continent and then around the world. In America, the Occupy message was clear. It was time to end greed and corruption. It was time to put a stop to the perceived undue influence of corporations on government. Occupy and the occupiers, as they became known, put a voice to the growing concerns of income inequity and wealth distribution. Not since the Great Depression had the disparity between the top 1% and all other Americans been so great. But why the 24-hour protests and why the tents? Bill Paul, one of the founding members of Occupy Pensacola, puts it this way.
They needed the tents and the 24/7 occupation to get the attention. And now, all the countries either talking about how stupid we are for camping and wanting to have tents, or they're talking about the issues that we're talking about. So it is succeeding. And they don't like the fact that it's succeeding. So they want us to take the tents. They want to get rid of the 24/7. They want to get rid of the thing that got the attention in the first place and have this protest to be good and be quiet and go stand in the corner and be good little protesters so they can ignore us.
At 55, Bill Paul is a single father of 3 who has scheduled his life around raising his children in a healthy and positive atmosphere. Their education is of utmost importance to Bill, and he drives 40 minutes one way every school day to drop his kids at the school of his choice. In 2010, after learning that his mother was dying, Bill moved his family into his parents' home to help care for her. There, to cultivate a learning environment, Bill created an art and science room where he and his children discover the world. On the weekends, the Paul family spends time on the Blackwater River, exploring nature, releasing energy, and bonding as a family. We asked Dr. Melody Castro, supporter of Occupy Pensacola, why the tents were important.
It was a symbol that people were losing their houses and they were going to end up in encampments and tents on the side of the street. It's a symbol of we're not going anywhere until things change. It's a symbol of we are occupying this space and making our issues known. And we're not going anywhere until it's fixed, until something is done.
At 34, Melody is a single mother whose life revolves around working 12-hour shifts as a doctor of pharmacy and caring for her daughters in their busy 3-girl household. Melody and the girls love to read, and she enjoys introducing them to the world through a variety of literature.
Alphabetical, do we know who writes it? Look at your face, it's cute.
Setting aside time to spend with her girls is important to Melody, and whether it's baking cookies or a quiet discussion on the couch, Melody treasures the time she spends with them.
But I know how tough it is in high school. It's rough. Especially when you're a sweet kid like you.
But Melody is concerned about the future for herself and her girls. Seeing tens of thousands of people lose their homes while banks and automakers are being bailed out, she sees herself as a taxpayer, the working person, and the homeowner footing the bill.
And that was my money that was given to them. That was my paycheck that was given to those banks. That was our money. It was those people's houses. It was their money.
So how did such staggering financial problems come about? And what caused so many Americans to flock to the banner of Occupy? We have to look back to the early 80s to see the cause of what is today being called the Great Recession.
We've been having a big financial crisis every 10 years since the deregulation really started at during the Reagan administration.
Because of deregulation in banking, Bill Paul fell victim to an inflated real estate bubble, which was unstable and eventually burst.
I lost my house, I lost my furniture store, I lost everything.
After losing his successful business and then his home, due wholly to banking losses outside of his control, Bill heard about the Occupy movement in New York and searched the internet. He found like-minded people in his area and helped form Occupy in Pensacola, Florida. At one time 300 strong, Bill and his fellow occupiers rallied against bad banking practices and the buyout of our government officials by big corporations. Yet much of the time was spent in the camp planning and teaching.
The Occupy movement, when we were in the encampments, there was a lot of educating going on. A lot of young people were very interested in hearing about things and reading about things and learning about things that they had no clue about.
When Dr. Castro found Occupy in Pensacola, she felt an instant bond with the occupiers and heard her story in their message. She felt betrayed by a government who could pay out billions of dollars to rescue big business, but could not assist her family while she was earning a pharmacy degree. Even when Melody and her small children became homeless, the Castro family was not eligible for assistance because she was seeking a degree. Melody sees a flaw in the system. And now, while big corporations who, by neglect or outright unscrupulous acts, are being bailed out, Melody struggles to provide for her family while paying back a staggering amount of student loans. While the tents have come down, the Occupy movement remains strong and vigilant in the cause to end influence of corporations on government, income inequity, and corporate greed. What should the occupiers focus on in the future?
Occupy can make change within our government is by making change within public attitudes.
I believe that by educating the public and getting them to understand their power in the world, their power in our government, it is we the people, it's not them, the politicians.